What kind of response have you
Mm.
gotten to the book? You've talked with a lot of people.
Yeah, excellent response, actually.
Yeah.
You know what was kind of cool? I spoke with the House Speaker, former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, a few weeks ago about the book, and he called it a guidebook on how to do an effective, popular-based, conservative.
Oh, I so agree.
Thank you,
I so agree. It's a
thank
guidebook.
you. It
It's a
is a
guidebook.
guidebook.
This is a very useful manual,
Thank you.
instruction.
I don't wanna just talk about the problems, I try to lay that out so people understand it, but I wanna say, here's a path forward, here's hope, here's a blueprint. We have to continue to fight for our country, and I think Hungary has done it extremely effectively.
So, let's we've covered so much. I want to give you kind of a way to give us what else that your institute is doing, and how should we how does America take this from here? What's our lesson?
First of all, we have to remember that freedom is valuable, and I know a lot of people say that, but it's right now a very, very, precarious position I believe that we're in. One thing that Hungarians said to me is that we remember what it's like not to be free. They were only free from the Soviet Union in 1991 during most of our lifetimes here. Um, Americans don't see the insidious encroachment that Marxism has grown in our country over the past 100 years. That was actually the goal of the Communist International, to spread communism. And I believe we helped them with giving Stalin these satellite countries where if we had made sure that they were still Western countries aligned with Western values, we would not have helped perpetuate the spread of Marxism and communism. So I want Americans to understand that this could be our last warning. I don't think in recent history, and Bill, you can tell me what you think, that we've ever been in such a position where our government is trying to take freedom away from us. There are 11 points in my book of communist psychological warfare, Bill, that were written by our Department of Defense in 1959. Every one of those points apply to us today. One of those is using a crisis to gain control. What did we just see with COVID? All over the world,
Yeah.
governments, especially ours, was trying to do that.
Well, and now they're going to declare that climate is a health crisis as another way to bring about the same measures they brought about with COVID.
Yeah, you have to watch them.
Well, yeah. Well, but
Uh,
I so agree. Now, I read this, I come to this. My career's been mainly in Wall Street and finance and private equity, and so I was tunneled into that, uh, and didn't really pay much attention to these trends. And a lot of these things like communism in America, isn't that just sort of McCarthy era stuff? And that didn't happen, and that was just dramatized by
yes.
him, and he was a ridiculous man. Well, you read this book, and you begin to realize, no, no, no. If you think of it as cultural Marxism, taking over institutions, changing
Yes.
values, getting rid of the church, getting rid of civil society, that's been going since even before the 50s. It started actually in the
It did.
30s in the United States,
Yes.
and you had a lot of those people working in FDR's administration.
Yes.
So
That's
these things
exactly
which
right.
seem to, my friend Todd Zwicky, and I've
I know that
used this
name.
before. He's a brilliant professor of law.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's George Mason. And the
Oh, yes.
difference between a conspiracy theory and reality,
Uh-huh.
3 months.
Yes, I agree with you. Bill, I did not know these things either. I thought they were conspiracy theory as well until I went to
No, no, no. I
Hungary,
mean, that's
heard
just
the stories,
yeah.
then looked at history, did the research, and absolutely, we have been infiltrated with values that our country was not founded on.
Okay, this is the last warning. Read the book,
Please.
Shay Bradley-Farrell, PhD,
Thank you,
and
Bill.
it's so great to talk with you. Have you back again? We're digging more into this topic on this show, so I hope you'll come back with
I
some other
love that.
people, and we can drive home these points.
Well, and if your listeners would like to go to counterpointinstitute.org, we send out a newsletter like twice a month that will update them on what's going on, or go to Amazon and get the book and read it yourself.
And you're on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter at Dr. Shea _DC
I
and
love Dr.
Instagram.
Shea. Right?